Imagine an online community voting to spend 8 grand of its own money on a party. Not just any party, a coffee rave. Sounds a little out there, right? Maybe. But what if that party was actually a super clever, carefully designed machine for growing the community? Let's dive in and see what happened. And that brings us to the big question, right? Can a party, a rave with free coffee and DJs, actually be a good investment? We're going to break down the whole thing, the plan, the party itself, and the actual data to find out. So here's the deal. You've got this online group, the Little Nouns DAO, and they all vote to pull $8,000 from their shared treasury. And what for? To throw a coffee-fueled morning rave at ETH Denver, which is, one of the biggest crypto conferences on the planet. Now hold on, before we go any further, what even is a DAO? It stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Just think of it like an online club with a shared bank account where all the members get to vote on how to spend the money. And super important, it's pronounced DAO, like cow. Now, this wasn't just some random ideas someone threw out there. Oh, no. This was a super detailed formal plan called Proposal 355. And the goal was crystal clear, to turn this coffee rave into an actual growth engine for their whole community. And the strategy here was actually really, really smart. I mean, think about it. Most conferences are just packed with late-night parties, right? So they spotted a gap in the market. Morning energy. The whole idea was to create this high-energy but sober space for real conversations and, this is the key part, to measurably bring new people into their world. And they didn't just hope people would join. They built this brilliant 3-part system to actually convert people. If you wanted to win one of the NFTs they were giving away, you had to do something specific. Join their Discord, follow them on Instagram, or grab a digital souvenir of the event. Every single one of those steps could be tracked. So the total ask from the community bank account was pretty simple, actually. 8 grand to cover all the costs, venue, coffee, DJs, merch, the whole shebang, plus 3 of their own NFTs to use as the prizes for that giveaway. So the proposal passed with a big majority. Now let's get to the fun part. How did this plan on paper turn into an actual party? What did it really feel like to be there? Choosing the right spot was absolutely critical. They didn't just pick any old coffee shop. They went with Fifth Coffee House, which was not only close to the conference, but was already a hub for local artists and creators in Denver. This was a genius move because it meant they could pull in crypto people and a whole creative crowd that was already there. So what was the vibe like? Well, you just have to read this review from someone who was there. They're talking about the adored coffee, surprise-free gifts like t-shirts and stickers, and, wait for it, bubbles. Who doesn't love loads of bubbles? Clearly, this wasn't your typical stuffy networking event. It was just a really fun, memorable time. And it wasn't just outsiders who loved it. The community's own members were buzzing. I mean, check out this quote from a member called Lil Pizza, who just comes right out and says it was one of the best parties at ETH Denver this year. When your own people feel that way, you know you've done something right. Okay. Good vibes are great, but remember, this was supposed to be an investment. The proposal promised measurable results, so the real question is, did that $8,000 investment actually pay off? Time to get into the numbers. First up, how many people actually showed up? About 170. And it was this awesome mix of people. Conference folks, local creatives, even some families and their dogs. For a free event during a totally packed conference week, that is a fantastic turnout. Now, if you do the math on that, the 8 grand budget breaks down to about $47 per person. I mean, for a fully produced, branded event with free coffee, music, and merch at a huge conference, that is an incredibly good price for what's basically customer acquisition. So remember that whole growth strategy? Did it work? You bet. On the day of the party alone, they got 29 new members in their Discord and 49 new followers on Instagram. Those are direct, trackable results from that giveaway funnel they set up. But let's be real, followers are nice, but they don't really pay the bills, The real test, the ultimate goal for a DAO, is getting people to actually buy in and become a member. So, did the party do that? Yes. The answer is yes. Five different people who were at the event, or even just heard about it, went out and bought their very first Little Noun NFT. That is the metric that matters most. They turned a real-world party into actual on-chain community members. And hey, this wasn't some lucky coincidence. We have the proof right here. A new member came out and said it, plain and simple. I bought mine thanks to seeing that event. You literally cannot get a clearer return on investment than that. All right, so let's circle all the way back to that first question we asked. Let's get to the final verdict here. Was the $8,000 coffee rave actually worth it? Well, when you look at it, you've got two kinds of success here. On one hand, you have the hard numbers, 29 new Discord members, 49 new Instagram followers, and the big one, 5 brand new NFT holders. But then you have all these other wins that are maybe harder to measure but just as valuable, like strengthening the bonds between current members, getting tons of great photos and videos for future marketing, and even helping one person set up their first ever crypto wallet right there at the party. You know what's also really cool? The final report was super honest about what they could do better next time. More signs, more branding, plan out the content creation better. They basically said, hey, nothing's ever perfect. The real skill is being able to roll with the punches. And that story about someone creating their first crypto wallet at the party, that's just the holy grail of bringing new people into this space. So, in the end, the official conclusion was clear. Proposal 355 totally worked. It wasn't just a fun get-together. It was a real-world activation that delivered on its promise of measurable results and built a genuine funnel for future growth. And that leaves us with this really big, fascinating question. What you're seeing here is a community funding and running its own marketing. They're cutting out the middleman, the traditional agencies. So you have to wonder, is this a glimpse into the future of marketing? A future where the most passionate fans become a brand's most powerful marketing team? It's a pretty powerful idea to think about.